Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Meaningful Marketer podcast. I'm Mia, and this is Grace. And every week we have chats all about marketing and business and how to build community and how to connect more with people and connect more with ourselves. So that way we can show up the best we can be and connect with people and build communities, thriving communities for our businesses, because that's really what it's all about is real human connection. And all of the sales and all of the other things are a great result of that. So that is what we talk about each week. And this week I am traveling. So we are coming at you with a quick fire, easy episode that is going to teach you 5 easy ways to keep your emails out of spam in about 10 minutes. We're going to try and give you a quick fire one today that you can take and you can just run with and go do all the things. And we have a bonus for members at the end, a special bonus for this episode. So stay tuned for that. The first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to make sure your account is compliant. And this may be like, well, duh, you need to make sure your account is compliant. But you would be surprised how many people we work with, we talk to, that you then find out the reason their email is not making it to anybody or it's ending up in spam or whatever issue they're having is a simple little compliance fix. And a lot of the time, what these platforms will do, if you have Klaviyo, if you have MailChimp, those kinds of platforms, and many more, they will let you know when there is a compliance thing that you need to do, a new compliance thing, because they do add rules quite often, more so with SMS messaging. There's a lot more restrictions, I feel like, on SMS messaging than there is email, but there is still a lot of rules on email. And luckily, when you're using a platform like Klaviyo, MailChimp, Flowdesk, all of those, they are helping you make sure that you are sending things compliantly. So you want to make sure you have your terms places on your site. You want to make sure you are sending from a legit domain. And there's other little things that you just have to make sure are in place. So go and look. A lot of the time, your email account will have a notification somewhere. There'll be a center in there, maybe that's a compliance center in the background of your email or something like that. And you'll be able to make sure and see if you're compliant. Of course, you can always hire someone as well to go through and do an email audit. We do that for people. And so we'll go through and do an audit and tell them, hey, here's the things we need to fix. And then we will go through and talk about fixing it for them, telling them, how we need to go about doing this. So there's a few different ways you can do it. But the first thing is, especially if you're a business owner on a budget and you are just trying to get started, is really lean into your platform and make sure you are taking advantage of those compliance features.
Well, for most platforms, it's going to flag stuff for you and you just fix them as you go, right? Like a lot of states change their laws and stuff. There's something, I wish I remembered exactly what it was, but there's something about Texas and text compliance that just came up on Klaviyo in the last week. And it had something to do with, whatever new rules for the state that you would have to just literally check an agreement box in your account for. So most of the time, even with free plans, they're gonna try to help you out as best they can. They might not tell you that you have to have your terms on your site. That's something that Mia and I always tell people to make sure that you do. But outside of that, it's going to try to help you flag those little compliance things. It's not something that you have to spend a lot of time thinking about on the day to day. So once you've been audited or once you take care of those notifications within your account, you should be good to go and your mail should deliver normally and everything like that.
Yeah. And if you notice, like a great way, to check if you're like, well, I don't have any kind of notifications on my account, but I still feel like something's off. Go look at your open rates, look at your deliver rates. You can look at all of those analytics on the back end of your email. And you'll be able to tell by just paying a tiny bit of attention if something is off. You can't really tell if something goes into spam. That's a weird one, but that's something you might have to run tests on. So you might have some team members or some friends, some of your own emails that you make sure are subscribed to your list so you can see if they're going to spam. That's what we do for ourselves, for clients. So that way we can make sure we can kind of get the full experience. But other than that, just paying attention to your analytics, really making sure like if it's saying you're getting a bunch of emails not delivered,
Yes.
something's probably wrong. You may have missed a notification or something. If your open rates are just trash, like they are just nothing, then you might, need to go look at that. So just pay attention to your analytics, make sure your compliance stuff is all up
Sorted.
to date, all of that. And that is the first thing that you need to make sure you do. So other than that, make sure you're sending from a legit domain. That's the other thing. A lot of people send from like Gmail domains and they don't even realize it. Domains get confusing. So make sure you're sending from a legit domain. But once you do those things, you should be all set to make sure these other things are in place.
So the next thing you're going to want to do to set yourself up for success is to encourage people to interact with your emails. So this is just an additional step that, we recommend that you work into your welcome series somehow. Encourage people to star your emails or mark them as important or respond to them or move them out of spam back into your main inbox. Anything that they can do to engage with the emails that are coming from you, the more likely they are to see them in the future. So, especially with platforms like Gmail, obviously Gmail is not the only email platform, but that's the one that many people use. And they have really convoluted ways that they sort and filter your messages. And it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to work around that without directly telling your community to engage with your stuff and to move it within, their own folders. It might show up in spam or promotions for some people and not for others. It's a little all over the map. So that's something we definitely recommend, is just that you encourage your audience. Maybe if you have a welcome flow setup, that's a great place to do it. Or, in your Instagram stories, wherever you're promoting, that people sign up to your list, just encourage them to go and check out, your emails. Maybe tell them in your welcome series, hey, you're going to get 3 more emails from me over the next few days with some goodies inside. Make sure that you've marked this as important or something like that, so that, you're spending time making these emails. You want to make sure that people actually see them.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Grace, putting it in a welcome email is great. I've noticed a lot of people doing that lately when I sign up for emails. And I just want to say that is one reason why it's so important to make sure that what you are offering them in your email list is something they really want as well. I think having a discount is great. I'm not, for a welcome discount, going to take the time to move someone's email to my inbox so they can harass me, to be quite honest. If, though, we have some brands that they have launches often and people really like to shop the launches. And so that's a great incentive of, you're going to get a reminder for this. You're going to be the first to know. Freebies. We send out people a free trending post template every single Monday. If you're not on the email list, you should definitely go check that out. We've got it linked in all of our places, and on our website, there's a little pop-up. You can sign up for it completely free. We just mostly just send out things on that Monday. Every now and then we'll give you some news or some updates, some exciting things going on. Those kinds of things, because they're bringing value to someone outside of just a one-time discount, that is going to make the person want to move it to their inbox. I saw someone the other day. I honestly don't fully know what she does for a living, but she's sending posture reminders to your inbox. So reminders on ways you can, which I need to improve mine right now. Let's all take a moment to put our shoulders back and not be the hunchback that we all probably are from sitting at the computers all day. So she sends out posture reminders and something you can do each day. Like one day she's like, oh, you can do this move like this. And that's something I am going to move, because I'm like, I want that. If she would have had a program that she's selling and she would have been offering me a discount, I would have taken the discount. I might have still bought her program. I'm not saying that's useless, but then I might have not moved her stuff to the inbox. I might have never seen any of her emails again. So it really is great, like Grace said, in the welcome email, start that encouragement of engaging and ongoing conversation of, we're friends. Like, let Gmail know we're friends. Add us to your contacts. Favorite this. Mark it as important. Move it to the main inbox, whatever. But start it off with that engagement aspect with the welcome flow, email, that introduction, and then make sure that you have something that is bringing value, maybe ongoing, at least for, even if it's a short span of time, a month, 2 months of ongoing value in a series of something. So that way they have a reason that they want to move it over. And that is really going to help make sure, because Gmail is going to go, they want to see this. They're friends with this person. This isn't just spam that's going to make this person upset. The next thing is, once you start sending emails to everybody, make sure that you're using names. Names are so important, so valuable. And there's something that I forget how much it means for someone to see their own name. Sometimes it's not even that someone remembered your name, right? We know there's technology. We know that the email
Right.
system is pulling your name from something. I think we all know that for the most part. And so there is something special, though, about seeing your own name too. There's just something psychological about that. So making sure that you are giving them a name to associate you with, and also making sure that you are using their name. Now, in your email platform, as we were just saying, usually you have a way you can insert their name and then you can have a replacement word if the name isn't available. So check that out. It's pretty easy. But also in your business, yes, your business name, but put your name, put it with your business name. Maybe we had someone once who, brought up something about, well, if I put my personal name, sometimes people forget who I am and then they unsubscribe, or that they do that to people sometimes. And I do think that can be an issue. So it depends really person to person. Do they know you by your name? Are you someone who shows up a lot by name?
Sure.
Then just put your name. Is your brand your name? If you're someone who is more known by your business name, then maybe you're putting your name at this. So, like, maybe we're putting Mia and Grace at Make New Marketing. So they remember we're from Make New Marketing. But it just makes it more personal for the person, but it also will make it where Google will sense again this is a friend of theirs. This is someone they know by name. This isn't just a business spamming them and sending them a bunch of stuff. Can be very valuable in keeping your stuff out of their spam as well as feeling super personal, which we love and we want that, right? Because if people connect with our newsletter, it feels really personal, then they are going to want to continue being part of that and being part of what we're doing.
So the next thing is you want to proceed with caution when it comes to links and images and emojis. Now, there's no special formula, one size fits all thing for this, but you sometimes will see that if your email is overloaded with too much media, or maybe you went ham on the emojis in the subject line or something, you might see that those emails either don't deliver as well or aren't opened at as high of a rate. It just kind of depends, right? Again, with email, a lot of it is just like trial and error, right? But I as a graphic designer love imagery and aesthetics, right? So I am a big proponent of making your emails look pretty, but you kind of have to strike a balance with that because you want to make sure that there's enough live text in your emails that people will be able to search for the content of the email in the search bar in their email and have it come up. Because if everything you do is like, let's say on one big Canva graphic or something, like all your text for your whole
Mhm.
graphic, that's not going to pull up the same in their inboxes. Searchability is not as good and it's more likely to go to spam. So you want to make sure that you're using images sparingly and you're making sure that they're small file size if you can. Some email platforms will even compress those for you now as you upload them, which is amazing and saves me so much time. But yeah, you want to just kind of figure out how to strike a balance, figure out what works. You want your email to seem personal and not too polished and over edited, right? So maybe pare down to just a few images and maybe one emoji in your subject line is fine, but probably not six, or it's like, okay, this is definitely spam. So those are good recommendations.
Yeah. Making it feel, I think too, when you use less, sometimes it makes it feel more organic,
Yeah,
and the platforms can pick up on that. The person can pick up on that. I like to think of email because, with like social media and posts, you obviously don't want to put a ton of, I don't know, some people do, and maybe it works for them, but tons of wild emojis, spammy language, salesy language, links. And I think it is a step further into the playground, the funnel, whatever you want to call it. So you can be a little more assertive, but I do like to think of it as how can we make this feel organic like a social media post, but take it just a step. Like take it one or two steps up of making it look a little more polished, make it a little more assertive with,
yeah,
calls to action and stuff like that. But yeah, just think of if you're used to doing social media posts, I think, and you can think of it as, okay, I just need to take this one or two steps up from like my social media post, how that feels, then that's going to make your email feel a lot more assertive, polished, and fun. But I think without you being like, I need to put a million things in this. And obviously, it might vary. You might have a newsletter to a specific group of people who are very tuned into you, and you might need to put more links in that or more information in that, And so it is going to vary some, but when it comes to that, like just having
over.
people, newsletters that go out to people, regular newsletters and stuff, keep it simple. Don't overwhelm people. You don't, and you also don't need to be like, look at this, look at that, look at this, like having meaning behind it and like a purpose behind it and keep it simple for them.
One goal, I think that's a great spin-off point really quick. You should get in the meat of your email before they even have to scroll. It's just like on your website. If they open it, you want their attention to be captured right then and there. So instead of making them, scroll to figure out what the point of the email is, like make the banner clickable, that's a great call to action right there. It's the first thing they're going to see. And if they're interested in shopping or whatever, they're going to click it. And you don't have to make it miles long to scroll with a bunch of links throughout. Like you need a good solid call to action somewhere near the top.
Yes. And then if you do have something that you need to get a bunch of info out, save that for your really tuned in loyal people that are in like a program of yours, something like that. But even then, try to keep it simple. Keep it as simple as you can in all situations. And then the last thing, which we kind of touched on this, in saying about having a welcome series that you start encouraging that engagement, that conversation, you're having them kind of establish with Gmail. Hey, I'm a friend with this person. I want to see more of their stuff. Is just continue to encourage engagement and conversation. Start treating email like a two-way conversation. Encourage them to reply, have ways that they can interact with you in this email. It's not just you screaming about a sale at them. And I think that's where so many businesses these days go wrong because it was like email marketing gave such an edge. And it was, I think, very effective not very long ago to just be like, oh, sale, this is happening, this is happening. And I think as people, how we're consuming content, it changes, right? And how we consume email content now, I think it changes. And our inboxes are flooded with so much stuff all the time that I think it is so refreshing to have a newsletter that feels more conversational, more organic. It doesn't feel like we're constantly getting, buy. For me right now, I'm trying to save money. I'm avoiding the buy emails at all costs because I will buy. And there's other people like me, in that same situation. And so keep it organic. Don't just make it buy all the time. And, I think really in that have a purpose, like Grace said, to your newsletter you're sending, but also have a purpose to your email list in general. And we said we have brands that are more launch based. And so the purpose of their emails is reminders that, they can make feel not so salesy. It can be more like, hey, you wanted us to remind you. Here's the reminder in case you want to do this. However, you determine that your people want to use this newsletter with you, how they want this relationship to go, this conversation to go, lean into that and then make it about them. It's not about you, it's about them and what you are doing for them and how you are helping them out. How can you serve your people through your email
Yeah.
list? And a lot of the time that's just looking to how you can have an ongoing conversation and keep it engaging. And the more you have that ongoing conversation with them, the more they're going to be looking for your email. They're going to be searching if they don't see it, but also they are going to be more compelled to give those signals to Gmail or whatever other platform that they're using to go, hey, I want to see this. And
Yeah.
that is going to get you landing in the inbox, maybe not 100% of the time, but more of the time. And I think that's important to note is that you are not going to 100% of the time make it to someone's main inbox at the top of their list. You are going to end up in spam sometimes. You are going to end up in promotion sometimes. And so accept that, take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. You'll learn something very valuable that you can use for the future. Have a little bit of acceptance there, but then use these tips to help it happen less. And
Yes.
ultimately, like we always encourage you to do, is experiment.
Yeah.
Take control, take ownership over your email list. Look at your analytics and don't be afraid of it. It can be simple. And if you pay just the tiniest bit of attention to those and just get to know your numbers a little, you'll start to be able to tell when something's going awry and when you need to give a little more TLC to your email list or when things are going good. And when things are going bad or they dipped or something, all it is it's just like when your health maybe like you don't feel good for a day, I've missed my self-care routine quite a bit the last couple weeks because I've been busy with work. My body's not felt as good. My energy's not felt as good. My energy today has been horrible, but it's not the end of the world. It's just my body going, hey, pay a little attention to me again. And it's the same with your email list or any other program that you do. When you start to see those signs, it's just, hey, I need a little bit of attention to be like, oh, okay, this is just like a checkup. I just need to do a checkup with this. So those are some ways that you can keep your email out of the dreaded spam folder. And if
Yes.
you have any other ways that you have noticed have helped you, make sure to share them below and comment, share the knowledge, spread the love. We all want to hear them. We are over here cheering you on, and we hope you have an amazing day. Members, we have a little bonus for you, so stick around. Everyone else, we will talk to you soon. And if you need any help with your email list, shoot us a message. We're happy to chat with you about it. Bye,
Bye.
y'all.